Rainer bringing it like you can. Love having Rainer here, playing an accordion in Roth, Germany. 12th annual Challenge Roth. Loving it. Bob Babbitt here, triathlete.com. Our guest, a gentleman who's one of the premier triathletes on the planet. The man we like to call the Duke of Luxembourg, Mr. Dirk Bockel. Dirk, how the heck are you?
I'm very good, thank you. But please don't call me the Duke of Luxembourg. I might get in trouble when I get back home.
Nobody's watching this. It's only triathlete.com. Nobody cares. So, Dirk, let's talk a little bit. You've been here for a while in Roth. This is an important race for you.
Oh, that's actually my peak race of the year for the middle part. I spent a couple of weeks here training and getting to know the course.
Right.
And actually, when I was a kid, I was camping out here several times over the last couple of years just to, to see the race.
Right.
And I said, one day I want to come here.
So you've never done this?
I never raced here.
Really?
I've watched it at least 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Camping as a junior, training while the big boys were doing their show.
Yeah.
And, well, this is showtime for me this year.
It really is. So this year, your season's a little different. Your build-up is from here, basically, this build-up to this, and then build-up to Kona.
That's correct. I used to race early in the year, so something like Abu Dhabi early on, and then a long summer build-up to Hawaii. So this time it's different. So we have a peak in the middle of the year and towards the end of the year.
Right.
So it's a little shifted, but I'm in great shape. I did my first build-up race, actually, the World Championships, and that was a good result. And now,
especially with you're a swim guy, and at 51 degrees, you don't want to be a swim guy.
Yeah.
So it became a duathlon, and you still took third.
Yeah, that's very, very good for me. So I was very stoked because we worked a lot on the run for this year.
Yeah.
And we're always there on the swim. We're always there on the bike. And we said this year we have to make the run happen. And that was a great confirmation with the duathlon, getting bronze at the Worlds. It's always good. But now this is what it's about this year. This is Roth. This is my dream. And
this is it.
Showtime.
It is showtime. Well, and talk a little bit about the field. You've got your defending champion coming back, James from South Africa. And who else do you look at and go, okay, I got to be worried about him?
Well, it's a long list of athletes, actually. Yeah. I picked out 6 to 8 names that could potentially be on the podium.
Yeah.
And but, business as usual. I have to focus on myself. I have to challenge myself to be the best athlete I can be on that day. But to be honest, if I have to name one name, all the pressure to Timo Bracht.
Yes. Well, he's German, right? This is his hometown. You're supposed to win here.
Exactly. And he wanted to win so bad last year. And then he became second.
Right.
Just very, very. It was a difficult race for him, but it was very close. And I think he's motivated till the last little bit of his body too.
So knowing a guy like that and all the pressure's on him, right? Knowing that he's got a lot of pressure on him, is that someone you will focus on? Sort of like, okay, I know Timo's going to be ready for this race, so I'll hang around with that guy for a while.
Well, here's the thing. Timo is a good friend of mine. First of all, he's a great champion. He has amazing results. I've been fighting him basically in Hawaii back and forth. One year he's one spot ahead of me.
Yes.
The next year he was one spot behind me. And so last year I don't really calculate because I had a broken hand and it wasn't too great for me personally. But we have different race structures. He's not the best swimmer, but a phenomenal bike rider and runner. So for me, I'm kind of like going from the gun. I'm going early. I'm a good swimmer. I'm a good biker. I'm a good runner. So I have to challenge him from the front.
Right.
And he has the advantage of getting the split time. So it will be
He's
a different race
chasing you.
I guess so. I hope so.
So last year, I know how fit you were going into Hawaii. And then you break your hand in a sort of a freak accident in the side view mirror. Right. How hard is it to go into a race knowing how fit you are and knowing you're talking your right hand. You're talking you can't grab from the aid station, your hand on the aero bars, all that. Sort of, do you change your game then? Do you change your mindset to, hey, I'm going to get 100% out of whatever I have because I'm not 100%?
Well, last year was very, very difficult. It happened 10 days before the race.
Yeah.
And I was not in a good mental spot. I was just a lot of negativity in my head. And, Pete Jacobs would say, I wouldn't race with love, right?
Yes.
Because he was all about the love. So I was in a bad spot, and it took a lot of energy to just overcome that difficulty to race.
Yeah.
So the race actually became, wasn't the main focus. The focus was how am I going to swim? How am I going to grab the handlebars? The
Right.
bottles, when you fly by and you hit a bottle, and it was the middle hand, and it was nasty. But top 10 in Hawaii with a
Getting
broken
10th
hand.
there,
I mean,
yeah.
I should be happy now.
Yes.
Even though I'm always tending to improve myself. And
Right.
4th was my best result so far, and I wanted to become one of the podium guys. And
Yeah.
I was a little bit off, but with a handicap. So this year,
So that was your
hopefully.
4th time being top
Correct.
10 in Kona.
Yeah,
And
that's
not many
too
people
bad.
can say that.
That's correct too. So
So I look at you and I see a guy who is, living part of the year in Florida, living in the Luxembourg. Hey, I'm in Italy. I'm here. I'm there. I mean, I'm cross country skiing, and you're everywhere. Is it? How do you balance everything you do? Your family, racing, training, making a living.
Right.
Right. How do you balance it all?
well, it's difficult, but that's traveling a lot is the life of a triathlete.
Right.
That's part of it. On top of that, we have 2 careers. My lovely wife just finished her doctorate degree in economics. I mean, you can imagine.
That's a real job.
that's tough as well.
Yeah.
And like you said, the sponsorship obligation, then the traveling, different locations, racing all over the globe, making the sponsors happy, but also fulfill my own dreams and desires of racing. And for instance, if I wouldn't be qualified for Hawaii, it would be very difficult to pick this as a peak race, because you have
Right.
to get all the points. And I'm very sure that Challenge will actually step up and very soon will become the hot spot. I mean, it is already, but we're a world championship short, I would call it. And I hope, and I really hope it's going to happen soon, because I think it's good for the business. It's good for triathlon, and I picked this race because it has a lot of history. It's the oldest race, and I think it's the most prestigious race we have, alongside with Kona.
Right.
So
as a triathlete, when you think of, okay, as a triathlete, I want to go to the Olympics. I want to be, a contender in Kona. I want to do Challenge Roth. I mean, those are sort of big events in sport. You've done the Olympics, right? Led it for half an hour. Yeah, we got the Olympic rings right there. There we go. Got the Olympic rings. Talk a little bit about the Olympic experience, especially coming from Luxembourg and just, small country, big stage. You're there.
the Grand Duke was there.
Yeah, the
So
other
it was really
Duke,
cool.
the
We
other
had
Duke,
actually
yeah.
lunch. The other one. Yeah.
Yeah, the other Duke.
Shouldn't say that.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
They kicked me out of the army and everything. No, honestly, it's the biggest platform for sport, Olympic Games, and Luxembourg, 450,000 people.
Yeah.
14 athletes made it to the Olympics of
14.
all sports. So we're a very, very small group. So everybody knows each other. And like I always tend to say, in Luxembourg, we're one big family because everyone is related.
Sure.
And so it's good and bad. It's good if you're on the top of your game, and I am right now. So for me, it's very enjoyable. And after Olympics, I had to restructure my life. I raced short distance for many years.
Forever,
and then
yeah.
I had to decide what's next, and it's all about Ironman. It's all about challenge races now. Ironman distance is just the most important race for me.
How
now.
hard was it to transition from a race that takes an hour and 45 to hour and 50 to something that takes 8 to 8:20?
Well, it's different. I mean, obviously, we have short distance athlete racing.
Right.
We have Mike Petzold, for instance. He's one of the short distance guys from Germany, and he's pretty good. What can he do on long distance? We don't know, but I think there are different philosophies of how you could train, how to adapt. To be honest, you need to ask my coach, because I'm a big believer in sharing obligations. His job is to bring me there, and
Right.
my job is to do
perform.
whatever he tells me to do
Right,
in
right.
training. And if I hit the numbers, he says I will be good.
Right.
So, and I hit my numbers.
You always hit your numbers. Nice. The Olympic experience, though, leading on the bike in the Olympics in Beijing. I mean, coming off
Good
the bike.
memories.
Yeah, great memories, right? Even though I'm sure you look at the run. How long did you lead on the run?
I was up there till 1/3 of the run course, basically. And the funny thing is, afterwards, I decided to go long distance. So nobody remembered my name, but they said the bald guy from Luxembourg.
The bald guy
So,
from Luxembourg.
yeah.
Nice. The bald guy from Luxembourg who led the Olympics.
Right. So I had a name coming into the U.S., into the long distance circuit, and I went to the Interbike with a backpack full of little cards and press folders.
Promoting yourself.
Yeah, just trying to find sponsors for it's different because short distance you don't have your whole body as a logo.
Your country
as
does.
a platform, and so for me it was a new experience, and that's why I looked like Luxembourg from head to toe the first few years when I raced there.
So in terms of the difference as you're an athlete, you're a marketing guy, you're dealing with the sponsors. It's not like, okay, I've got my agent who's doing this and my coach who's doing that. You're sort of the one man, you're the traveling show, right? You have to do it all.
Well, I have to name my wife here. She's holding my back as free as possible as we can. We have to do a lot of stuff together. But she's the best agent you can have. She knows me. She knows how we work. She knows what products fit. I don't believe in signing a sponsor that you don't believe in. You know, it's not about the money. It needs to be organic. It needs to come over. So you really want to present the companies you really want to. And she's doing all that. But it's we'll call it a one man, one family show. You know, I don't have an agent, and you never know what happens with the sponsors. Like, for instance, this year, it looks like everything is running out at the end of the year, and we're starting back from zero then. So
the other new aspect as an athlete, as a marketer, this whole world of social media. I mean, you've got an energy pie, you've got your training, you've got family. Now it's also being on Twitter and posting on Facebook and creating a community around Dirk Bockel. Do you enjoy that aspect of it? And have you found that has expanded your brand?
I think so. The social media really started in America. Yeah. And I still see that a lot of parts in Germany or also in Luxembourg are very slow on that. Right. Lots of companies are not even on Twitter.
I know.
And even the main sponsor of a race that I'm also attending is not on Twitter. And I wanted to do some Twitter feeds, but no chance yet. And so I think it's still coming. It's still growing here.
Right.
I personally believe it's very, very important because triathlon is a small industry. But it's important to get the name out, and when you follow the Tour de France right now with all the hashtags, what they do, how much is out there. So I think all triathletes, we need to tweet more about our races to make it more public and help the sport as a whole.
Grow the sport.
But also for me personally, I believe it's big marketing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working on a book. I have several projects coming, and I think it's very important to be the person that you really are, and not just play a person when you come to a race and you get the microphone and a camera. You got to be the person that you are. And the more videos you post, the more people see who you really are. And I think that's very important.
Love it. Dirk, thank you, man. I appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
We're going to bring Rainer back in because it's time to play a little accordion. Breakfast with Bob from Roth, Germany. Dirk Bockel has been our guest. Breakfast with Bob, triathlete.com. Hold on, everyone. We'll be right back.